Hello, I'm Mike Hamlar, host of the New Virginia Economy. And today we welcome our guest, Andrew Connors. Andrew, thank you for coming on.
Hi, Mike. It's nice to be here.
So what's the name of your law firm?
It's Connors Law. We're located in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Blacksburg, Virginia, not far down the road from me. That's good.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to talk about, your firm does a lot. So we want to talk about trademarks in particular today. So tell us, what is a trademark, first of all?
A trademark's a source indicator. It's your brand. It could be a word, it could be a logo, it could be other things that you might not think about, like sounds, colors, things of that sort that distinguish your product or service from a competitor's.
Right, so as a business owner, you definitely want to distinguish what you do compared to your competitor.
Definitely.
And this
so.
is one way to do it, right?
Oh, definitely. And you know, major brands we could all think of, Nike or McDonald's or Coca-Cola, everybody understands that when they see their logo or they see their words, they represent something and they represent a particular product or service.
So that adds a value to a business.
Definitely.
So what type of value would that add?
Well, it's actually marketable. That means you can sell it. You can license it to other people. That means you can give them permission to use it. In fact, obviously you can prevent others from using it as well. And that gives you huge value because it makes sure your customers stay your customers and nobody deceives them.
Right, yeah, that's huge. Yeah, somebody using it improperly, you definitely got to do that. So we've talked about the trademark, we talked about the value. What about economic impact? So every business has some type of economic impact. Talk about that.
Yeah, every business has economic impact, but you know, especially even when you think of franchises, things like McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's, you know, Mike's Burger Stand versus Wendy's.
I like it.
I like Mike's Burger Stand. I bet you everybody loves Mike's Burger Stand. But Mike, if you open up a burger stand, you might have to spend a lot of time and money because people know the good quality hamburgers you serve at Mike's Burger Stand, but you don't have to do that if it just says Wendy's right outside the door.
Right. Yep. You get that automatic influx right there. Yeah, trust me, I know how it is. We've started from scratch and it works. It's hard work, a lot of work, a lot of work. So that's just one part of what you do. And as far as intellectual property, which is very important. So what else services do you have with IP?
Well, we do all range of intellectual property. Two major areas are copyright law and trade secret law, very valuable to businesses. Copyright law protects artistic expression. Particularly valuable where I am down at Blacksburg, it can protect software, and we help some software companies from time to time. Trade secrets as well can be things as simple as customer lists or vendors you do business with. It could be complex things like engineering schematics. So those are important things we can protect as well through those legal means. Yeah,
give us an example. I know you're in Blacksburg, you know, Virginia Tech is there, like you just mentioned, a lot of tech companies and software engineering and things that you work on. Just give us an example of that.
Copyright's wonderful. It covers things like software, and then it also covers things like artwork we have a lot of photographers we represent at my law firm.
Oh, really?
Wedding vendors, people that are engaged in creative activity, writers are big things. And trade secret, little different. Usually you're really talking about technical documents, but like I said, it could be real simple stuff like who your clients are. That's a big trade secret probably every business has, right?
Right. Yeah, you can market that and you can sell it.
Exactly.
Yeah, package it up and get it out there. That's great. So what other services do you provide other than trademarks and IP? Because I know you do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, well, and we're a boutique firm, meaning we really want to specialize. So we specialize in business law, and business law means business formation, intellectual property protection, contracts, planning for those things, meaning to make sure you're doing it right, and then enforcing. If somebody infringes or somebody takes your work or somebody breaches a contract, we'll go into court and make sure your rights are protected.
Well, that's good. Well, what else would you like to say about your firm, and what else would you like to talk about?
Well, we really value our clients and really love them and care for them and want to make sure we do good by them and by the world and do justice. So you can learn more about us at apconnorslaw.com. Or you can go to our Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/ConnorsLawVA.
Connors Law VA? That's good, that's good. Well, we got a couple more minutes, and before we wrap it up, I know you just gave us the address, but I'm really interested to see what other projects you're working on at Tech, because I know that's huge, because they got the Virginia Tech Carilion Research Center here, so there's a lot of proprietary information there. They have the software and a lot of tech companies up there in Blacksburg that you mentioned. What else can you tell us without infringing on anybody else's
I would love to, but of course, attorneys have a ethical duty, right, to keep their information secret about their clients. But I can talk in generalities, and I've represented software clients with major disputes in-house. I've dealt with people, again, software mostly. I used to be a software developer, that are having fights about who owns materials when you don't have a
That can get
contract
really sticky.
when
Yeah.
you don't have a contract in place ahead of time, then there might be a legitimate dispute as to who owns the copyright in that material, and that may
Yep.
be worth millions of dollars.
Yep.
So we get involved in a lot of that, and then some fun stuff. I've formed restaurants before. You know?
Really?
I've done a lot of different things for businesses, so we can help any business of any stripe.
That's awesome. I guess my tech background goes, I was a computer science major at Wake.
Oh, I didn't
So I
know
built
that.
my first computer in 7th grade. I love technology. I mean, that was my thing. So when you start talking about tech companies, I said, I want to talk, let me know.
Well,
let me know.
you and I can nerd out together sometime.
We can. We definitely can do that. Well, go ahead and tell our viewers one more time where they can reach you, what's the address, any other information you want them to know before we wrap up, and we really appreciate you coming on. So go ahead and just let our viewers
well,
know.
the website's apconnorslaw.com. That's APCONNORS law.com. Facebook page is facebook.com/ConnorsLawVA. Phone number is 540-553-8149. And although we're headquartered in Blacksburg, we serve all of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and in fact, people nationwide, because intellectual property is a federal matter. So.
Very good point, and that's why we had you on the show today. So, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
As
Mike.
always, we want to thank our sponsors. Again, thank our guest, Andrew Connors, and thank you for tuning in and listening. For more information and the extended interview, go to newvirginiaeconomy.com.